Looks like Raquel.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
It looks like she's muted now.
Yeah, I just muted
Are you
her.
still hearing that?
Yeah, still hearing.
I think you're able to mute on your end if you wanted to. Just right click on her name.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I just did.
Yeah. I think
Thank you for that tip.
I'm trying to mute everyone. That's the only challenge with doing a voice channel, but we get to share. Okay, I think that's fine. Nietzsche, you can go ahead, please.
Okay, cool. Alright, cool. Hey everybody, welcome to the third edition of Codeless Conduct. So my name's Nitch. I've been, hosting it for, since the first edition, so it's really exciting to see how we've grown and like the submissions we've gotten over the past half a year or so now. And excited to kick this one off with a fresh new mission to kind of seed and also help the the emerging service DAOs that are popping into the space. Tom, could you go to the next slide? So for people who are less familiar with Codeless Conduct, so we started off as a hackathon series, right, aimed for non-technical contributors to Web3, because what we were observing in this space is that the value add contributions to Web3 are no longer kind of only coming from developers anymore. In the early days, it was just like mainly developers attending these hackathons and building tools to kind of form the rich like ecosystem of DeFi protocols and dApps and NFT projects that we see today, right? But they're also forming communities around these projects, which is a lot more than the product, right? Like the heart and soul of a project is the community, which really helps guide the product and is a major determinant of the success of the project itself. And what really helps drive that is the contributors, right? Because the space is really friendly towards developers already, we wanted to create a space for people with non-technical skills to also have a place to contribute and learn and connect with fellow practitioners in their field as well. So that's why we created Codeless Conduct as a hackathon series, not aimed necessarily at finding and building new projects necessarily, but being a place where contributors could aggregate and work on bounties from existing protocols. So we want to create a space for individuals who are basically passionate about shaping the future of Web3 beyond code. So let's go to the next slide. So what are no code hacks? Right? So no code hacks and contributions are anything that adds values to a project in ways other than software development. So this can be through research articles, community strategy proposals, analytic dashboards, token designs, and much more. So far in the space, we've seen these contributions coming from individuals, right, who are really curious about Web3, who maybe have existing skills from outside Web3 and crypto before and are just applying it in novel ways. And due to the permissionlessness of Web3 and blockchain technology, they can kind of contribute right away and then learn and make mistakes right away and kind of build off the shoulders of clients in terms of what they want to experiment with. Right, the data is kind of public, and every day there's projects coming out with like new tools for people to do things like perform analysis on these different smart contracts on different protocols. People can suggest improvements to the products that they use every day through governance forums, which are public. People can a lot more so than they would maybe contribute to products like a Facebook or an Instagram, right? So examples of no-code hackathon submissions are things like analytics dashboards, right? To give visibility into how a given the usage metrics of a given protocol. It could be a redesign proposal. It could be an ambassador program proposal. And then the thing in brackets here is like the different kind of guilds or categories of skills that we kind of bucket these into. So some examples, you can see a little bit like from the screenshots here. We're doing dashboards. We had crypto voxels parcels being built in previous editions of Codeless Conduct. We had calculators and analysis being made using Covalent, some design language proposals, and it's what's really nice for teams is that like these pieces of work is coming from the community itself. So it's nice to build in public and kind of like get feedback immediately from your audience and the people that you're building for that way. It can also be resources for the ecosystem, like educational articles, and videos and so on. So let's go on to the next one. So this is some metrics from what we've achieved at previous editions. We started off in December 2021. We had around 50 submissions across 300 participants. We then scaled this a few months ago for it to be a 2-week-long hackathon, where we had over 1,000 participants and 600 submissions, which we were really excited to see. So let's go to like the next slide. So the format in general, this time around we're splitting it into 2 parts. So like these next 2 days is going to be the conference part, where we really want to deliver the content without kind of the pressure of working on like a time limit and bounties and so on. So these 2 days are where you'll hear from mentors and the presenters from different DAOs, service DAOs in particular, who are working on some of the tackling some client-side projects that is kind of what individual contributors have been doing in the past, but more like professionalized and like larger in scope. And then the hackathon portion has been postponed to a later date. So everything's going to be happening on Discord here for communication. So what we learned from last time, could you go to the previous slide? So what we learned from last time, right, is that bounty design goes a long way, right? So what we do is we work with sponsors to come up with different bounties for participants to work on that are categorized into the different guilds that you see here. So it includes things like community, tokenomics, design, marketing, data analytics, and governance and tokenomics. Right. So the more kind of well-defined the specs are for the bounties, the higher quality the submissions will be. Right. The next learning is that guilds have a really high potential to seed practitioner communities. Right. So if you go to if you look at our the design of our Discord here, there's different guilds for that. So people like fellow designers can go meet each other in the design channel and discuss the bounties there, maybe share some previous projects and contributions that they've made in the past, give each other feedback. So these guilds are like a really nice way for fellow people with the same skill sets to meet each other, and then like eventually seed communities who are then maybe qualified to perform verticalized services for protocols, and in this context work on like big bounties together. The last observation was that feedback and engagement from both sponsors and for the like fellow guild members themselves really drives submission quality, right? So like we saw that the participants who actively sought feedback, they had a lot higher rates of winning the bounties, right? So and everyone likes feedback on their work, like even if they're ineligible for a prize, it would the feedback is already valuable to them. So from these learnings and from this experience, we're now in like a position to direct our experience and communities to seed contributor communities that can really produce work that move the needle for projects and protocols, right? So the updated vision for Codeless Conduct now is to seed the next wave of service DAOs. Right. So why service DAOs? And you'll hear a lot more from what service DAOs are and kind of the landscape in the presentation immediately following this. So what we're seeing is that like Web3, the ecosystem is becoming increasingly vibrant and professionalized, right? And like permissionless innovation will surface communities and organizations or service providers that are better at attracting and retaining talent and drive better results in the long term. So we see Codeless Conduct as a catalyst for these communities, right? So why service DAOs over traditional service providers is that they have a direct ownership of the organization, right? So through token ownership. So ownership like really fundamentally changes the relationship that people have with an organization by really aligning the incentives between themselves and the clients. There's an open contribution culture. It's much more permissionless, where if you have the kind of your proof of work and proof of contribution, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter what school you went to. So like high value contributions, not credentials, and kind of your like the vibe that you bring to the group are what qualifies individuals to work for service DAOs, rather than like going through these obscure interviewing process with like traditional organizations. And then also service DAOs have a crypto native understanding of the problems that are unique to Web3, right? So the design patterns, the wallet interactions, the lingo, the memetic culture. So they're in a much better place to service protocols, service fellow DAOs, rather than like traditional kind of Web2 organizations that are kind of straddling both spheres that might actually import like kind of the bad practices that Web2 products have into Web3. So they're in a much better position to service that. So the next slide is just like a current ecosystem map of the kind of service DAOs we have today. We have product development DAOs, which help do like software engineering or design work for protocols. We have design DAOs. We have audit DAOs performing smart contract audits. Treasury management. Recruiting, community strategy, marketing, and so on and so forth. So throughout the course of these 2 days, we'll hear from some of them. So for example, we'll hear from Yap DAO, which is a marketing organization. We'll hear from Deep Work, who helps protocols with design, and also Thing3, who helps DAOs navigate kind of the legal and like tax and operational challenges, which is really valuable. And then the next slide is so we interviewed some service DAOs as part of research for Codeless Conduct, and kind of the common problems that we see for that both service DAOs and independent contributors cite is that they can't find each other, right? So there's low visibility right now for service DAOs because they're still nascent. For contributors, they're kind of like making contributions, kind of isolated contributions all over the place, but there's no kind of way for people to meet each other and learn from each other, and for these organizations to kind of attract talent and recruit new practitioners for their organization. So our focus here is to be that. So Codeless Conduct can be a place where these people can aggregate and where service DAOs and contributors can find each other and accelerate each other's growth that way. Let's go to the next one. So our goal is to connect independent contributors to service DAOs, and hopefully like help them perform client-side work in the realms that we've cited in the guild, and really like educate new contributors about general like DAO bootstrapping and operations, right? And what it takes to be a contributor in crypto, and share some resources. So as well as like hearing from service DAOs, you'll also hear from like general DAO operators, right? About how to kind of conduct yourself like in the ecosystem, and the challenges that might come with like summoning a new DAO. And then lastly, like experimentation in the operating models of service DAOs, right? We want people to be innovative with like how they want to form these communities that service other protocols, or become like thought leaders in the ecosystem. But like the important thing is that we want them to like aggregate and learn from each other and like find each other. And then eventually like become a launchpad and also talent hub for service DAOs in general. We already went over content that you'll be learning about here, general DAO operations. You'll be hearing from service DAOs, some guilds mentors like design, analytics, and also like contributors kind of share their journey about their individual journeys from being involved with Web3 projects for a long time. Then lastly, from my side, you'll get I encourage you to ask questions, to network with and meet other people who are attending here, and then also like if you signed up using our Google form, like and there's an opt-in thing for you to be added to the contributor directory that we'll be sharing with some of the participating communities here. If you're interested in like career opportunities and things like that. And I'll hand it off to Uzuma.
Thank you
for the next half.
Thank you, Nich, for the introduction. My name is Ayozuma. I will be the event logistics manager. So, big shout out to everyone that was part of planning Codeless Conduct 3rd edition. Shout out to Tom, Jordan, Mizzy, Ishrif, Nich, myself, Crypto Queen, and Growth. Please, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to any of these persons in the Discord, and they would put you through or lead you on the right path and how to get answers to your questions. Please, next slide, Tom. Okay, so for our presenters, we have a lot of people that will be coming to share with us how and also their experience and also even their expertise in service DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations in the Web3 ecosystem. We have Colton Bedron from Redacted Cartel. We have Mia Grodeski from Yap DAO for Marketing Guild. We have Ryan Clark from Goblin Sack DAO Operations. We have Robert Koshki, I hope I got that, I'm so sorry, from Rick's DAO, Data and Analytics Guild. We have Daniel Carpol from Tin3 DAO Operations and Lego. We have Justine from Axel Cap, 1KX Governance Guild. We have Jordan Nersian, Times New Design. We have Andrej Berlin, Deep Work Design Guild. Please, next slide, Tom. We have Tax Panda from Tin3 DAO Operations and Lego. We have Larry Florin from Tin3 DAO Operations and Lego. We have Harish Reshinhen, I'm so sorry, from Covalent for Data and Analytics Guild. We have GV from Tin3 DAO Operations and also a legal mentor. We have Jovian, Social Tech Labs Community Guild. We have Jack, Web3 Designers Design Guild, and we have Justina Cookin from Deep Work Design Guild. So that's a lot of people that we have that are going to share these 2 days with us, their experience and how it has been going, and also the progress and also what we have to do better, even as independent contributors and also people in the Web3 community. Next slide, please. Okay, so for logistics, all talks will be happening here in the town hall voice channel. If there are Q&As that go over the allotted time, so for most of the talks we have allotted 30 minutes each, but if there's any that goes beyond 30 minutes, especially question and answers and comments and feedbacks, we would have to move to the general voice channel so that you can be through with your questions and also probably get answers from the speakers and the mentors. If you also have a question, please type your questions in the channel #questions for speakers so that the speakers can see these questions. Now that's for anyone that doesn't want to come up stage or is feeling any type of way, or you just want to put up your question, you can use the #questions for speakers. So to have fun and enjoy this conference, please do introduce yourself, showcase your work in the respective guilds, bond and try to make friends, virtual friends, and also tell us what you want to get out of Codeless Conduct. Next slide, please. Okay, on that note, we would like to officially say Codeless Conduct is now in session. Welcome, everyone.
Awesome. Yeah. I think we skip 2 slides.
It was just like the schedule.
We
can just go over the schedule for.
Yeah. So for day 1, which is today, by 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are having opening ceremony. By 1:30 p.m., meaning we have to get off this call as soon as possible, we'll have introduction to service DAO by Colton Bergamont from Redacted DAO. By 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll have bootstrapping and operating. 1 second, please. Okay, thank you. By 2:15 p.m., we'll be having bootstrapping and operating DAOs by Helmas from Golden Sack. By 3 p.m., we'll be having navigating legal, accounting, tax as DAOs and contributors by Daniel, Larry, DV, Tax Panda, all from Theme 3. By 4 p.m., we'll be having principles of organization design by Andrzej Berlin of Deep Work Studios. By 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time still, we'll be having blockchain data and analytics by Harish Risenham Covalent. I'm so sorry. Day 2 we'll kick off by 11 a.m. Web3 marketing with Mia Grodeski from YapDAO. By 11:30 a.m. we'll be having Web3 strategy and branding by Jordan of Times New and Jenny of Jump. By 12 p.m. we'll be having advocating for yourself in Web3 by Jovian Social Tech Labs. By 12:30 we'll be having a virtual hangout on Gather Town. By 2:30 p.m. we'll be having data analytics and risk evaluation for protocols by Robert from RixDAO. By 3 p.m. we'll be having product design by Justine from Deep Work Studios. By 3:30 p.m. we'll be having how to run usability tests for Web3 apps by Jack of Raid Guild. By 4 p.m., which will be the last talk, we'll be having the proposal life cycle and challenges of governance by Justin of 1KX. And that will be all we'll be having this in this 2-day conference.
Awesome.
Cool.
So that's perfect timing.
So we have the next presentation going on in 2 minutes.
So
let's
end the recording
for
for
opening ceremony, and then we can restart the other one for for intro to service styles, and then Colton's on the call. He can get set up with his screen share here.
Okay, thank you everyone for hanging out and coming to the opening ceremony. Let's be awesome. Thank you.